Here with Concordia head women's basketball coach Drew Olson to preview the 2021-22 season, and as we record this, a little less than 3 weeks from the first official game of the season anyway, wanted to take a quick look back at last season first. A lot of returning players experienced that run during the national tournament and beating Marion. Probably the highlight of last season, but how does that experience and that success kind of benefit this year's team, having gone through that?
Yeah, I think it gives a lot of the returning players like just an understanding of what it takes. Last season was very like up and down at times, and I think I'm really proud of that group just because of how well they stuck together and they found their toughness, and it showed at the end of the season. We went on a great run, and yeah, the Marion game was awesome, and like I said, I was really proud of that group.
And I know every year you're kind of working to redefine who you are and what that team can be successful at, but what are you kind of enjoying about that process with this team in particular?
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun so far. We've got some new players that kind of add to the returning group that can really help us, and I think we've got a lot of really good depth, and we're just kind of excited to see what our team becomes. It's different right now just because we haven't played against anybody outside of ourselves, and so we're really looking forward to a few scrimmages and kind of learn a little bit more about our team.
As far as the senior class in this program, you've got 3 that are in their 4th year in the program and another who transferred in, but players like Mackenzie Kepke and Riley Pauley are their links back to that national championship team a few years ago. But what have they meant to the program just in terms of keeping that high standard over their careers here?
Yeah, I think just when they're around, the team has a higher standard, like you said, and the expectation is to win at a high level. And all 4 of them have kind of had an interesting journey to their college career, and I think they all kind of provide a little bit different perspective and different types of leadership, and they've been great so far with our team.
Well, it's certainly never a surprise to see impact freshmen within the program, and we saw that certainly with someone like Natasha Rushton last year. What progression are you seeing from her from year 1 to 2 as someone you're really counting upon?
With Natasha, like there's not a lot of change. I mean, she was an awesome player last year. She's an awesome player this year. She's just a fighter, super tough. Incredible shooter, and just finds different ways to score, and I love to see her defensive intensity, and yeah, she's going to be another big time player for us.
Yeah, you had a lot of young players in the backcourt last year, along with Taylor Cockrell, of course, was the experienced one, but Bailey Conrad, another one coming along with Tasha. What do you see kind of the potential of that backcourt as they continue to get more and more experience?
Yeah, I think with Bailey this year, you can tell she's a little bit different because of that year of experience, and she's got a little bit more confidence and maturity about her. Just thinking about a year ago from now, like she's just grown in leaps and bounds, and Mackenzie Toomey would be another person that we look at as like she's really improved and changed, and just a tougher mindset, and we expect big things out of our guards. Those are 3 of them, Tasha, Bailey, and Toomey, but we've got a lot of really good depth there, and I think that they're going to really balance each other well.
Well, every year you always lose somebody that was really good, it seems like, and obviously Taylor Cockrell is one of those. What, from your experience, what does it take kind of replacing somebody who's an All-American type of player that next season?
Yeah, we've had that a few times, but it's never just one person that's going to fill in. It's going to be a collective, and TC was just so good in different areas, and so we need somebody to step in and be able to attack the basket and get to the foul line like she could. We need somebody that's going to step into her leadership role. We need somebody to step into her hitting big shots and big threes, and I know that we've got that. But it's going to be a collective effort.
Well, I think this was a more normal off season leading up to this season compared to a year ago. How does that impact kind of development of players when at times off season a year ago maybe that some of them didn't have as much access to a gym or lifting weights and that, but how has that impacted off season development?
Yeah, I think it's almost more of like the team bonding that's been the biggest thing this year, that we could do stuff together more. And I felt like last year we were really missing out on that, and it showed, especially with such a young team last year. We went into the season still not really knowing our identity and who each other were, but now this year I feel like we've got a much better sense of that. So I'm looking forward to doing more stuff with the team that's just going to help us become a tighter unit.
Well, the number of returners on varsity, I think, that have played varsity is in the double digits, and then you have several freshmen I know you're excited about too. So what can you say about the level of competition you're seeing in practice so far?
Yeah, it's been very intense. We've had some really good practices with ultra competitive people, and when you have like 2-3 teams that can just really go at each other, it's just going to continue to raise the level of play, and iron sharpens iron, and I think we have that.
I wanted to expand a little on the freshman group. I know just following some of their high school careers, several of them were 1,000-point scorers in high school and had a lot of accolades, but is there a chance we see someone make an impact like Tasha had last year?
Yeah, I think there's a couple that are going to step in and help us right away. With freshmen, you never know like how big of an impact they're going to make until they start playing games, and so I'm always a little reserved about who's going to make the biggest impact. But I do think that we've got a really talented class. If they stick with it and build that toughness, I think that's going to be a really, really special group, because it's so deep and so balanced. So yeah, we're really excited about that group.
A couple more things. Wanted to go off topic a little bit. I don't think I've asked you about your brother Jared in a formal interview for a while, but I know he continues to have success too at California Baptist, which recently was moved up to Division I. How do you kind of describe that relationship as brothers and as coaches in the profession? I mean, how rewarding is it to see each other have success and follow each other's teams too?
Yeah, he's a phenomenal coach and doing awesome things out there in California, and they're bringing back everybody, so really high expectations with their team. I'm not sure they're able to qualify for the NCAA tournament still, but they have really high expectations, and excited to watch them play. It's fun just because we can bounce ideas off each other and kind of be that voice of reason at times throughout the season when you need it, and so he's kind of my go-to.
How about finally your thoughts on kind of how the process worked last year with one division in the NAI? I know that the tournament wasn't as large as initially planned, and now it'll be back to 64 teams this year, I believe. But what were your thoughts on kind of how that process worked, and how Concordia obviously continues to fit in at an elite level?
Yeah, it was interesting just because there's a lot of teams that we had never seen or heard about, and then you start to follow them a little bit closer just because they are a nationally relevant group. And I felt like it was kind of a fun challenge because there were just so many more really good teams. In the years past, like when we were a dominant top 5 team, going in the national tournament, we knew there was probably about 6 to 8 teams that could win it all. whereas last year there was probably 16 to 20 that could, and it just made it a little bit more of a challenge and more fun. But yeah, we know that we're going to be in the mix again, so we're excited about that challenge. And I think with 64, it's just going to make it even more interesting, and hopefully more GPAC teams will get in.